The dual-blade Black Swordsman Kirito returns. Enough said. So what's up guys, Foxen here. SAO War of Underworld episode 19. The fated showtime between Kirito versus Vassago. Vassago might have been barking at the wrong tree. Oh, that was bad. Anyway, definitely dual-blade that like, subscribe and ring the bell. There is a juicy SAO video coming. And today, Dashlane returns to sponsor. Perhaps you're like me, I'm just horrible with names. And perhaps just as bad when trying to remember all these passwords for like 100 accounts. So whether you're watching something on Crunchyroll, OnlyFans, or Netflix, Dashlane has you covered. You could have your own password manager for free. I just find it to be a lifesaver on mobile. You can breathe easy with Dashlane since your private data is encrypted locally. It's not on the cloud ready to be leaked, and they're not trying to make money off of selling your data. Dashlane works with online checkout too, so whether you're stocking up on more toilet paper from Amazon or ordering more coffee for your non-addiction, this includes our awesome two-step checkout for all your online shopping needs. You could try Dashlane completely free on your first device at dashlane.com/Foxen. If you love it, you can upgrade to extra features with the premium service. Just use my code Foxen to get 25% off. Go ahead and click the link down below to download it for your PC or mobile device for free. It is super convenient, plus you're being extra awesome by supporting the channel. Today's SAO episode titled Awakening. Oh hell yeah, I'm back bitches. I'm gonna really miss saying Potato Kirito. Get over here, Potato Ram. Kicking this off with Kirito using the Force on the Night Sky Blade. Oh yeah, that was definitely new. The anime had to add Kirito using incarnation arms to pull over his blade. Briefly, you did get this overview shot of the Underworld area. It looks like they heavily reduced the number of Red Knights left. There were supposed to be 20,000 plus. From this picture, it looks like hundreds. And then the Human Empire side, even fewer. So behind Kirito, hey, looks like the Sleeping Knights are still all around. Sakuya and Alicia made it too, and Eugene has strangely disappeared till now. Anyway, the fated duo Vassago versus Kirito. I was actually glad to see Kirito struggling a little bit. The guy hasn't fully awakened for realsies, just getting pushed back by this laughing coffin Shinigami. And hopefully you guys have noticed the chopper has been getting bigger and bigger. Getting to the first Asuna cut. From the previous episode, for those of you wondering how Yuki or Yujo were around, it really boils down to Yuki deeply existing in Asuna's important memory, which is the same for Yujo and Kirito. Except for Yujo, you do have the sword too. For Vassago here, you have the guy slipping back into his SAO days. The guy managed to tempt and trick people into killing each other back then, eventually backstabbing his own murder guild, which led into Kirito getting a healthy dose of trauma too. In the Underworld, Vassago has done that again to some extent with the Korean and Chinese players that he took advantage of. But the guy just won't stop. How about fueling the hate for both of the sides in conflict by having the Japanese players finish them off while they're popsicles? Even if you ignore all of that, Vassago was really just secretly hoping there'd be more death so he could absorb that juicy sacred energy up. Briefly, you did see Kirito holding the busted blue rose sword. Just know that Kirito was concentrated throughout Vassago's chatter to maintain those ice sculptures. I do like that even at this moment, Vassago was so twisted, trying his damn hardest to provoke Kirito. Oh, you're holding steady. Don't worry buddy, I'm gonna kill Asuna and friends soon enough. Oh, but hold up. Kirito, you're about to lose your coconut if you don't get serious. I do like the added touch of the berry jam leaking out. Getting into it, Blonde Boy Yuji's return. Gotta help the bro out. Really helping to aid Kirito plus the Night Sky Blade versus Vassago. Now this definitely has a similar vibe to Yuki and Asuna from the previous episode. The SAO light novel does mention Asuna seeing Yujo, which means perhaps Tisei and everyone else did too. It surely helps that Yujo was fused with an actual Underworld object. And right here, Kirito bawling his eyes out. Definitely reminded me of the face that Yujo made when Kirito and Alice showed up. You know, just to back him up versus Quinella. How the tables have turned. And oh yes, double release Recollection 2? The Blue Rose Sword is back, baby. Oh, I was just getting even more chills this episode. I can't be the only one that went completely gaga over the two buddies working together. A1 Pictures did an amazing job for this. So definitely check out my Integrity Night video where I went over their weapons too. But right here you do have the flower half of the Blue Rose Sword being used to release energy from whatever has been frozen. In this case, thousands of Red Knights. So much energy filling the night sky. An important part here is what Asuna mentioned. All of these knights were being forced to log out without any suffering. Which by the way, looks like some of the knights here without their helmets got spared. And oh my god, Yuki again? God damn it, she cannot not make me tear up. Yuki in her little cameo made an excellent point. Every player that's logged in here really wants to get into VR to find this new exciting world to enjoy. Talking about Vassago, brief info here about him and his oversized chopper. This thing had already absorbed the energy of over 2,000 Japanese players dying earlier. It had grown to 3 times the size. At this point, it was similar to Asuna's GM level weapon. It would now potentially go even further with more Red Knights dying. Except, Kirito wouldn't allow that. Oh yes, the double release Recollection. Finally, you're seeing the true power of Kirito's sharp wood stick. Vassago looks so freaking stupid here swinging around that huge thing. Kirito ain't sharing. Unfortunately for him, Vassago's evil dagger can't suck up life resources, only death resources. The Blue Rose Sword releases all of this energy through non-lethal means, which really does show that the Blue Rose Sword and Ice Sky Blade are the ultimate combo. The White Sword freezes the target and releases their energy, while the Black Sword then sucks all of that up. Oh yes, officially the Dual Blade Black Swordsman returns. To be honest, this little transformation doesn't hold a candle to the one from the opening, but second best isn't bad. So let me know, are you a huge fan of his SAO look? I still do wish that Reiki had given some sort of update to this look, even if tiny. I mean, how about removing the fidget spinner? I guess at the very least, the Blaze got this worthy replacement. And did you notice, this was actually the Kirito shot from the previous opening. As for Asuna's reaction, sploosh, which is the exact same reaction for any Black Swordsman fanboy that just creamed themselves. I was really wondering whether the anime would expand on the Kirito vs Vassago fight. I would barely call it a fight in the SAO light novel. Although the same thing could be said for other Underworld fights like Kirito vs Quinella, which the anime did expand on. You actually have some additions of sacred arts mid-fight. I'm loving that. But oh, Vassago's fighting Dati. Part of me was really just theorizing throughout this how many of these sequences would be made into skill cutscenes for the SAO Rising Blade game. I mean, they did recently do the Asuna plus Yuki combo. Then, you have Vassago taking inspiration from Boruto's dad, evil shadow clones. Unfortunately, the SAO anime almost never tells you the skills being used, but right here you did have Kirito using the 7-part Deadly Sin skill, which was with the Blue Rose Sword. That unfortunately will leave him open to a delay. Kirito then skill connected into a Vorpal Strike with the Night Sky Blade, which meant cancelling any delay. So, incarnation versus incarnation. Vassago fueled by his own discord, distrust, hostility, and malice. But what kind of incarnation fueled Kirito? Kirito had so many things shouldered from SAO up until this point. Hesitation, suffering, and his experience with sadness could be turned into strength too. A light that wouldn't be defeated by Vassago's darkness. Oh yes, Kirito's golden eyes busted out for the win. Another person getting disarmed this season. I don't know why, but it seems like some of you hate people losing their limbs. I gotta love Vassago's grim here, none the wiser to what's to come. This really was a surprise upgrade in animation for Vassago getting treed. Kirito actually forced the Giga's tree memory into this killer. Vassago, you're done. What a butt ugly tree. It looks like something straight out of Disney hell. Better burn that thing. Oh, Vassago's not gonna like what's at the end of this episode. It is almost ironic seeing the stained individual turn into life for the Dark Territory side. And it's done! They're gonna live happily ever after. Oh wait, something else to do. Funny how you have Klein talking about Kirito stealing the spotlight, yet at the same time, Klein was the first over here to take the spotlight from the first reunion. And Yujin over here is like, yeah, I didn't get a touching scene. You even have the Human Empire soldiers kneeling. They didn't do it for Tony dying, but Kirito gets it. Suck it, Quinella. Ooh, and what's over here? Renly making a move. How's it going, hot stuff? I really did love the detail of humble Kirito bowing to thank everyone. It really is about the little things. Then, going for the most important reunion with Asuna. Asuna really just wanted to jump into his arms, but she held back. There still is one pressing matter. A certain blonde they gotta take care of. But screw it, that could wait. Freaking finally a Kirito and Asuna moment they didn't cut out. This scene right here immediately brought back memories from the past SAO seasons. Keep in mind it's been years since Kirito has seen Asuna. Getting into Kirito and Asuna taking off. This was yet another scene that had me scratching my head. How would the anime visually show this? Thankfully, I think the anime actually did a great job capturing the wind element usage perfectly. Enjoy the ride, you two. Keep in mind this flight sacred arts was previously only available to Quinella and Cardinal, although recently you did see Daddy Bercoli do a step below it too. Anyway, back in real life, Critter enjoying an 8-bit version of the fight. On screen, Gabriel's getting dangerously close to Alice. So 10 AM Japanese time, about 8 hours till their asses get raided. Time for the backup plan, turning the Underworld acceleration way up. Right here you do see that being 1,200, this being the parent safety line for people diving via the SAO translator. This could then go higher up to 5,000 times the speed for Underworld only people. Then for Higa elsewhere, god damn it dude, it looks like this guy passed out from blood loss. So much dedication to helping out Kirito. Thankfully they do have the nurse Aki here to treat the poor guy. Blood packs too. For the small Higa cut, part of Higa's original motivation for joining up Project Alicization was due to a Korean friend dying who was blown up serving in the military. Higa now hated the thought of the current events now fueling hostilities between Korea and Japan. But more pressing issues, 15 minutes until the Underworld acceleration kicks in. Kirito, the planet's gonna blow up in 5 minutes. Critter just messed up big time. 1,000? 5,000? No, the max speed is 5 million. Thankfully, Goddess Leafa and Sinon get to dodge this bullet. They're just gonna disconnect. However, Asuna and Kirito will not be so lucky. At the very least, Higa did point out why they can't be disconnected, otherwise their floodlights would be damaged. But I really don't think the anime emphasized enough how much danger they're in. The theoretical limit for a floodlight is 150 years. Going at 5 million times the speed, they're not gonna survive. Anyway, Kirito spitting off like a comet really reminds me of Goddess Asuna. The anime really gutted this whole scene. Most things not too important except one. Kirito told Asuna that she would be able to fly soon enough, but Asuna replied that she wouldn't need to. After all, she does have Kirito to carry her in his arms. And a little bit later, a kiss scene. Asuna mentioned that just for this brief moment, Kirito would be hers alone. Come on A1 Pictures, stop cutting this out. Just get rid of the opening or the end scene like ReZero. Another cut. Kirito was aware that the strongest man, Recollection, had perished from the Underworld. Before the war even started, both of them had clashed incarnation swords. At the time, Kirito had realized that Recollection sensed his death coming. Anyway, getting some lovely news from Kiku. 15 minutes? More like 10 minutes now before Doomsday. Gotta log both of these guys out or they're gonna be this lovely potato couple. At the very least, Kiku is prioritizing their safety over Alice. You gotta like how Kirito's like, oh, we're gonna be fine. So confident. Come on dude, don't jinx it. Seriously, Asuna and Kirito need a long vacation after this adventure. Preferably alone. As for Alice, we haven't seen her in a while, almost to the end altar. Oh come on, a surprise feel scene with Alice bidding farewell to her puppies. I mean dragons. Oh come on, he had them crying too. But thankfully Kirito's here to save the day. Too bad the animation budget was all used up by this point. And did anyone else think the same? Kirito was really just giving us his bored to dad vibe here with the dragons behind him. Which by the way, this back shot of Kirito resembles that opening shot more. Next time, Kirito vs Gabriel on SAO Ball Z. Let me know, how freaking awesome was this SAO episode? Did you love Kirito vs Vassago? So far you had so many face-off against Vassago, Kirito being the third in line. Besides this episode cutting out the Kirito and Asuna kiss scene, which was supposed to be this parallel to their end smooch at the end of SAO, this was perhaps one of the best adapted episodes, just a little fat trimmed out. I actually also really like Vassago getting treed, cause it was so different. All that's really left now is a finale, Kirito vs Gabriel. Dual blades crossed that A1 Pictures gets that right. Just going based off of this episode, perhaps there's nothing to worry about whatsoever. There are a couple of changes that I do wish for, but I'll get to that once the events play out. By the way, from the previous episode where you had Kirito ripping his heart out. Unfortunately, I saw a good chunk of you saying that Kirito only woke up due to Yujo. To be fair, I don't know how many of you are joking, which hopefully not many, but just to clear up for those of you that weren't joking, the anime did have this mental scene with them inside of Kirito's head, but just know it was this combined effort. The 3 individuals close to Kirito, which included Asuna, were needed just to get to this point, which ultimately was to restore Kirito's self-image, which meant they were almost there. Yujo was really the last push that Kirito needed. So no, it wasn't just Blonde Boy Yujo. If anything, Yujo and Asuna played the biggest parts. By the way, you did have Dashlane returning this week. Definitely give them a try since it is free. You're being awesome by supporting by just downloading the app. No worries if you don't want to continue with it. But anyway, bonus question of the day. In this final SAO chunk, what has been the best standout scene? I'm really curious. Do check out my in-depth video going over all the Integrity Knights. And for those of you asking, I've been working really hard to catch up with ReZero, something SAO and ReZero related coming this week. So subscribe and I'll see you guys later.